you can have those for your home as well. The suggested retail price is going to be $4.99 plus $5 a month, but we'll probably introduce it with a introductory offer where we bundle the first year subscription in with the selling price.
Is there a question out there for Richard?
Quick question. How is the HopeLab identifying its priorities for the development of games for kids?
Great question. Our board a couple of years ago went through a process looking at really where there's the greatest unmet need in this sort of adolescent young adult population. Where are places that the system has missed kids? Cancer is an example. Pediatric cancer patients tend to have fairly good health outcomes, as well as older cancer patients, particularly with new drugs in the last 10, 20 years. But for some reason, adolescent mortality rates have really stayed the same, adolescents and young adults. That's really a behavior issue, a compliance issue, treatment adherence. And so that's an example of a particular disease where we thought that there's a chance for technology to really play an effective role in engaging these kids differently. A game that actually communicates a lot of the things through an experience, not through educational material or a brochure or a DVD that you have to watch, but just lets you go around blasting cancer cells with your chemo blaster, can actually change your thinking, change your attitude about what's happening, and really then change your behavior and improve your health. So we're working in cancer. Obesity was another place where, again, it just seems to be an intractable problem, and we really have not made a lot of progress as a society. It's going to take multiple approaches. This is just one possible approach. This is focused on physical activity. We also recognize that nutrition is a huge issue. But again, there's an opportunity here for technology. We've seen it with the Wii. We believe that intentionally designed products that go beyond entertainment really can have powerful impact in this space. We're also looking at sickle cell disease, autism, and major depression as areas where they're essentially an orphan population of adolescents and young adults.
I personally think Hope Labs has an opportunity with the older adult market, and I think especially in the area of obesity and sedentary life and in depression, and maybe even with medication compliance. And so I think there's a lot of opportunity for them to look at the upcoming age wave of the boomer market, where we are tech savvy, we do play games, we have a great mental attitude, and so say a sudden onset of diabetes where you lose a limb and all of a sudden you lose mobility, causes depression, and it's a spiral from there. So how can you apply yourselves in that direction?
It's actually a great point. One of the things that we, as I mentioned, have learned as we've developed the GDiddy is that there's a much broader market for this type of intervention.
I agree.
And there's some places, there's some products that are targeting different markets. So the Fitbit, Direct Life, really are looking at different markets. But I wanted to mention that one of the things that we're exploring, we're a nonprofit, is business models that can actually scale up, distribute, manufacture something like the GDiddy that's intentionally designed, backed by research, not necessarily something that HopeLab as an organization will take to scale. What are some innovative business model approaches that we can use to leverage philanthropic dollars to scale up products and get them distributed in a different way, where the market doesn't necessarily seem to want to take on the challenge? So we're looking at it from that perspective.
Great. Well, I thank our two panelists for concluding an entire day with some very positive messages.